Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Well, with the jungle heat and humidity out there in East Tennessee, I can't keep the shrubs around my house trimmed at all, and that has led to more critters around. They hang out in the cool shrubs there, which means more spiders, which means I was seeing spiders in my home, which meant I called Southeast Termite and Pest Control this week. They came out. I see no more spiders after they visit the house. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. I use them. You should use them. Good, locally owned, family owned business since 1971. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. All right, and back to the big board where our own pest, Chuck Cavaleris, is over there. We've got B's, we've got W's, we've got up arrows, we've got down arrows, but I want to see what everybody says about passing offense. Last year, Tennessee averaged 238.5 yards per game. Ooh. That was fifth best in the SEC. Better or worse?
Worse.
Worse.
I go worse also. I don't think the gap will be that huge, but definitely a drop off.
I think you have a lot of people out there going, worse? Dormity's the next Peyton Manning. I mean, I get that a lot, that you're going to be much better throwing the ball now that Dobbs is gone. You've got Dormity. I don't know that you're going to see that.
John, I don't think Tennessee's going to be as up-tempo. I don't think they'll have as many plays, and I think they'll focus on more of a power run game than they have, which means
less.
Fewer. And there were so many big plays Tennessee made in the passing game, in large part because Dobbs was scrambling and hitting Malone for 70 yards. I don't see that as much this year.
The running game has to open things up for the passing game, too. Last year's running game was so good, it made the passing game a lot better.
Exactly. That's what I think is going to be your biggest issue. All right, everybody agree? Worse? Chuck, you agree?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right, worser.
Worse.
Sacks. They averaged 2.3 sacks per game last year, fifth in the SEC. We all think that goes down minus Derek Barnett. Are we going to be surprised in some way? Does Shoot bring out the magic show?
It's got to be worse, I would think. Not only Barnett, but your LaTroy Lewis
Corey
and
Vereen.
Vereen combined for 22 sacks,
Not
roughly. I'd say not as good.
I agree. Worse.
Definitely worse. I'd be surprised if that number will go down. If it goes down a lot, this defense is in trouble, so they'll need to blitz some to make up for that. But I think definitely that number goes down this year.
Yeah.
Worse. Chuck, what do you think?
Well, you think it'll be worse, but still 2 a game doesn't seem like it's
But that was fifth best in the league.
fifth
last year.
best in the league. But yeah, I mean, you think it does have to get worse just till you lost at defensive end.
Okay. Next one up there is penalty yards. They allowed 56.5 yards per game in penalties last year. That was 12th best at a 14-team conference. I'm going to say better because last year, if you go through what Butch Jones has done here, that was a big exception to the rule. His teams are usually very good at the top of the league in terms of fewest penalty yards. Last year was a surprise. I think they cleaned that up, but they got a lot of new starters out there. So I think it gets better. Thoughts?
I'll go better.
I'll go better also.
Ryan, you going to?
I think better, but like you said, those newcomers, they worry you a little bit, just knowing how many different guys they have out there on the offensive line, and especially just having a new combination that can be
A lot
problematic.
of false
at times.
starts. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I think,
some of the pre-snap penalties, and also how many personal fouls is Juwan Jennings going to get? I mean, that's usually good for what, 3 for the season? But I would say they're going to do better.
Okay, Jimmy, you were saying?
With so many injuries a year ago, I think you were casting people into the lineup that weren't ready, and I
Yep.
think they committed penalties
Great
because
point.
of that.
Great point. All right, last one. Red zone TDs. Now, this is one that I don't know how many people pay attention to this. Last year, Tennessee led the league in terms of converting red zone trips into touchdowns. About 3 out of every 4. Again, that was tops in the league. For all the people that didn't like DeBoer or didn't like Dobbs, they're pretty doggone good in the red zone. Can't be as good this year, can they? I'm going worse.
Well, I'll go worse just because, yes. Just because you can't be number 1 again 2 years in a row. And 73 is a great number.
I'll go worse because you don't have Dobbs.
Yeah.
I think he was a big reason for
But
that.
as Ryan said earlier, that'll make your field goal kicking better.
Yeah.
Because
It
you're
will.
going to kick
That's
a
right.
lot more short field goals.
That's right.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota and the Titans have a similar percentage last year. 72, I think, was theirs. I think the running quarterback has a lot to do with
Yes, it
it.
does.
So I think missing Dobbs, that number goes down.
Chuck, you agree?
Oh, you have to just because you don't have Josh Dobbs.
All right, so we say better in terms of scoring defense, better in terms of your field goal percentage, better in terms of penalty yards, worse pass defense. Actually, that number would go down. Yeah, worse. Did we say? Yeah, worse because there's no the cornerback and defensive.
Right.
Your pass rush is going to be worse. So worse there. I confused myself looking at it. Punt returns worse. Passing offense yards per game worse because you're probably not going to throw as much. Sacks worse, and then red zone scoring worse. Okay, interesting. When we come back, we have some information on how fifth-year coaches in the SEC have done historically. Is that the big gauge year that people think it's going to be? We'll show you the numbers. Come on back.